last Monday morning vibe check of the year, what messages do we need to hear as we move into 2026, as we wrap up this week? What is here for us? Who wants to work with us, support us, and or what energy is here? All right, we have our cards. First, we have the High Priestess. Harness mystic power. I love the High Priestess card across all decks because she really represents such a magical energy, right? A beautiful, expansive, feminine energy. And feminine to me just means the energy of being magic without having to try. It's the energy of flow. It is the deep, sensuous shadow. It is so many things that we don't talk enough about. So maybe 2026 is really a reclamation of these sort of gendered energies that our collective has some really confusing thoughts on, really reclaiming these energies for ourselves. So the High Priestess is encouraging all of us to harness our mystic power, our unique gifts and talents, our intuitive messages. She is encouraging us to find and make our magic. We all have it, whether you are male, female, non binary, intersex, something in between, all of the above. It doesn't matter. You have this mystic power within you that you get to cultivate. And so the reminder is here to really tune into our magic. That's what I'm getting from the High Priestess. Our next card, I love this card, and it's just a beautiful card, is Star Ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. Feel like this goes hand in hand. The message of this card is essentially that you are your own star ancestor. You didn't necessarily originally come from Earth, right? You weren't in a body before you, the individual, weren't in a body before you came in to this body here on earth. And prior to that, where were you? Were you in heaven? Were you in the cosmos? Were you in the cosmic soup? Were you waiting around? Were you living on another planet? These are big questions, lots of which I'm sure I'll talk about in the coming year. But Star Ancestor is really reminding us of our cosmic blueprint, the blueprint that you designed before you came into this body and this life. And your soul has a distinct voice, a distinct thumbprint, a soul print, that your blueprint life to life is different, but your soul print is ever the same. And you have a thread in your soul that makes your soul unique. What is your soul's voice urging you to look at, to cultivate, to bring into fruition? That is what this is asking. And oh my gosh, yeah, I could go in lots of different directions about all kinds of meanings of this card, but that core of this is to really be invited to honor your blueprint and your voice in this life, in this year, and in the next as we move into 2026. Star Ancestor. And then finally, last but certainly not least, we have Heart Guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. Oh, love is a tricky thing in our collective right now, isn't it? Because we live in a time where there is so much division, so much turmoil. There is war, there's death, there's mass death happening because of human on human violence. And it can feel really hard to keep ourselves soft and open and receptive when there is such challenge around us, when there is just such violence around us. And so the Heart Guardian is reminding us to return to love, that we are love, that we here embodied are able to embrace the energy of love and to let ourselves be loved by others, by the planet herself, by ourselves is so important. So important. And so she is just urging us to melt into that energy of love, to really soften ourselves around our edges and allow more goodness to roll in and to be ours. So that is the message from her. Open your heart, call in that divine presence of love, the love of yourself, of your neighbor, of the planet. So to recap, our reading as we move into 2026, our final reading of this year, is to remember that we are magic and to harness that mystic power that is within us, regardless of the body that we are in or the gender that we express. Our mystic power is here to be called up, cultivated, and shared. Star Ancestor, however you choose to interpret the theme of Star Ancestor, this card is about following the voice of your soul's blueprint, your unique blueprint for this human life, and allowing yourself to be fully expressed in that. And then finally, Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Open your heart, soften around your edges, and allow in more of this goodness of the loving divine energy that is present for us here on planet Earth. So that's the final reading of the year. Hard to believe. I just can't get over it. And now on the personal end, if you can't tell, I'm still recovering from my gunk. I sound very stuffy. I feel very stuffy. And I really haven't had a whole lot of rest over this last week, between holiday stuff and making people treats and visiting some family and being in activity and then going over to the park house to continue work over there. It's been pretty nonstop. I have been really struggling with insomnia all of this last week. There were very few nights I was able to fall asleep properly. And of course, that has me really contemplating what that is about and what it means, and uh, really diving into what my body is trying to communicate with me at this time. So that's been interesting. And other than that, lots of brainstorming happening in the background on my novel. Of course, I've never encountered this problem before, but going into a second book, going into expanding this universe that I have now established means I have to establish so much more of the background before I can actually write book 2. So I am slowly rereading book 1 and taking a ton of notes and talking with Justin over and over and over again about the backstory, the lore, the universe, the science. We're doing a lot of fleshing out of things, or really at this stage, mainly just brainstorming. I love my little unicorn horn hair here, by the way. Yeah, it's glorious. Um, we've really been doing a lot of brainstorming because it's winter, and I really feel if I didn't have this house thing going on this winter, it would have been my most restful winter ever, and I would have slowed down even more and taken more time to just do nothing and really be and percolate. Um, but I've had to be in motion because of the house and whatnot. So I am really just gestating the book rather than forcing it and rather than pushing to be in spring or even summer energy with the book. I'm really honoring that we're just in winter and the ideas are coming in, but they are not ready to be fully iterated and written at this point in time. I'm also waiting on a tool that I invested in. Gosh, it was probably the end of 2023. Uh, it was a Kickstarter, so of course there can be years and years of delay on those, and they are finally years later shipping. So hopefully come next month, I am going to have a device where I can do writing without any other distractions, that I can actually type on a really small typewriter type screen, like one of those old school. I don't know if anyone remembers these. They were like giant typewriters with little tiny screens on them. They were, as personal computers were coming out, they were there was this little line of digital typewriter things. So it kind of reminds me of that, but there's no scrolling the internet, getting distracted by all the apps. It's literally just a wireless keyboard connects to this mini screen and I get to write. So I'm hoping that that's going to help me really flow with my writing even more and just dive into it. And other than that, I'm getting such clarity on my business in this season of dark and what's coming ahead. I am going to be opening community, like an actual community for for the druidry and the spiritual work that I do in the world in 2026. I'm really looking forward to that and seeing what comes of that. And the continuation of seasonal shenanigans with my dear friend, Dr. Melissa Bird. We were texting about it last night. We just have so many ideas and goals and plans and just the desire to show up and support others in tuning into the wheel of the year. We are still enrolling for the 2026 cohort and can't wait to call more people in. I can't wait for the butterfly immersion, which is my butterfly method, but like a live cohort where we go through it together. And on that note, as I wrap up our vibe check today and I finish telling you my personal circumstances, that's kind of what I'm going to be using these next 4 or 5 days for, is really this rebirth ritual. I've been doing like this 13 days of Yule where I burn these wishes each night. And I'm going to use the last 2 days of the year and the first 2 days of next year to sort of mini gauntlet my butterfly method on my own, do the journal prompts, do the meditations, do the activations, like do the work in myself, not only to prepare again for that February cohort, but also to clear out some of the residual shadow gunk, not the integrative shadows, not the things that I've learned the lessons from, but like the gunk that's just the sticky residue. I'm really planning to clear that out over the next few days with my method and just explore what happens from there. So that's what's happening in my world. What is happening in your world? How are you feeling as we wrap up 2025? Again, I'm just in awe and shock that we are here. But I hope that you are really looking forward to 2026 in the ways that I am, and that you just have your most expansive year yet. I'm calling in more compassion, peace, trust, safety, resourcedness for all of us in 2026. May that be you. May that be me. May that be the whole world experiencing this love. So I love you all. I see you. I believe in you, and I am cheering you on. I will be here in 2026 doing the same, but in a more expansive and more me way. Because I think I said at the last Monday morning vibe check, I am getting strong messages to let the freak flag fly and just be even more myself than I was this year. And I was pretty darn myself this year. Lots of incredible thawing and breaking free and being visible and getting over fears and being bold and brave. So excited to see what comes in 2026. So I love y'all so much. If you happen to tune into this live or you snag this before the replay transcript is up, feel free to come back later and refresh, and you will have a picture of today's cards and a transcript to read along with. All right, my friends, I love you so much. See you back here next Monday in the new year, and we'll see if I write anything between now and then. Otherwise, I'm going to be deep in ritual. All right, I love y'all so much. Bye for now.